Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Curtis Hyde with Colorado Computer Support, and I'm down in Toshiba's office hanging out with Cody. We'll learn more about him here in a moment. But welcome to our first session of what we're calling Conversations in Colorado, where we're getting out talking to unique businesses that are out here in Colorado, supporting and helping companies in the state. So Cody agreed to be my guinea pig, so I'm really excited to come down and chat with him. So I hope you enjoy and have a great time and get to learn about what's going on in the community and business. So Cody, I'm nervous. I don't know if you're nervous. Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
But I found you just got to step into things and just run with it and see how it goes. That's the only way to get it sometimes. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I appreciate your honesty with that too. So, but yeah, so talk to me. I know we're hanging out at your office, but if you could let me know, just for everyone who's watching that can learn, what is that you do? Who do you work for?
So I'm with Toshiba Business Solutions. Yeah. Toshiba's a global name. A lot of folks know it. Toshiba's been making TVs and laptops for years. What I do, and they've got a lot of hands in a lot of other fields now, but what I do specifically with Toshiba Business Solutions in that sector of them is help folks with their copier leases and agreements, their printers or their printer fleets, and then electronic document management solutions, kind of things like that. And then on the side, we also kind of do some things like digital signage and then wholesale or bulk office equipment, technology kind of things, laptops, monitors, shredders. Specifically helping people. So she was a global name, but my job is to help people here, specifically in Colorado Springs and Southern Colorado.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question too, is you guys are a big global name, but does anyone ever ask you like, hey, how do I ensure I'm going to get like a person? How do I get help? Do they feel like they might get lost in such a global company, or how do you handle that approach?
It's a good question because people here in the Springs want to, work with people here in the Springs, and Toshiba being a global name, can be not a challenge, I would say, but that question does come up. And so it's important for folks to, I think, work with people who kind of know who you are and know your area and what struggles you might be facing, those kinds of things. Fortunately, Toshiba does a great job about segmenting their markets down. So we're able to kind of use and leverage that global network and some of the best processes across the globe. But really, we have a local touch because the services we provide really kind of require that our customers need to know where to turn when they need to turn to someone for help. So Toshiba's done a great job about that. Okay.
And are people who come see you in person, or how is it that you like to engage with people or start conversations?
These days it's any and every way, right? It's give me a call, shoot me an email, stop by the office. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on a few other places. So I think we kind of all have to be nimble, more and more nimble these days, and show that we're able to communicate well. There's a whole lot of platforms. Sometimes that can be challenging, but it's part of the beast. It's kind of how it goes. My favorite thing is to be out and about with people here in town. Okay. Reach me at Toshiba Business Solutions. If you've got any questions about copiers, printers, those kinds of things that we can help with. I'm here in town helping folks out and love doing it.
Okay. And I know, having a printer office is much more than just having a printer. It's like, it's a relationship. It's a person. Sure. So what can you tell us about you? Like, are you a Colorado Springs guy? Are you from here?
Yeah.
How'd you get to where you are now in the quick 411 version?
Yeah, good question. I'm originally from Dallas. So I moved here. It was years ago. It was about 2000 I came here. Okay. And I was brought here by my family, but been here ever since pretty much. And, did move to Denver for a little while. Denver was okay, but it was a little bit different feel up there. I really like the people and the pace of the Springs and the relationship kind of aspect of what's going on down here. Yeah. So the long story short is I was fortunate enough to be in a company, invited into a team that they were starting a company. And I did that for a little while in Denver. Eventually wanted to get back to the Springs. We've got family here. We're now rooted here. I actually met my wife here in high school. And then we separated. We went different ways for a while. And now we're back together here, and we've got family here. We love it here. So, I grew that company and helped it expand. We started with 12 people, grew to about 100 people in about 2.5, 3 years. So, and as the director of sales, that was very good for me. I learned how to kind of sell, but really more how to take good care of people. Before that, I was on kind of the operations side, handling the day-to-day kinds of things, which was great, hectic, but great to kind of learn those things in the field that I was in. Okay. And but eventually wanted to move here, so I helped that company expand down to the Springs. Had a chance to sell my stake in it and kind of get out and do something different, so I took it. And my goal there was to kind of find something new, ideally something in the technology field, and something that afforded me a little bit more autonomy and freedom. Work-life balance is kind of the thing that a lot of us are looking for these days. That kind of role. I've got a young family with 2 kids aged 6 and 4, so want to be there for, the better parts of their lives and not miss that, not work through it, those kinds of things. Okay. So sold my stake in that company, was fortunate to come along to Toshiba, landed in the technology sector. So I get to see some SaaS. I get to see a lot of business owners here in town. I get to help them, with copiers, which is kind of a funny thing that they're just complex enough that that folks and they're big long-term, business assets that people need. So, I found a good niche in it, and things are going well. And to be in the Springs and to be doing this stuff I can't think of a better place to be right now. So.
Good, yeah. I know we're a growing community. Tons of people are moving here. Tons of businesses are coming here.
Which brings challenges, right? But it brings a lot of great things, too. There's some cool things happening here downtown, new places to go. The new amphitheater I'm excited about. I love going to see live music. It seems like we're getting more and more, artists and shows and places to eat. And, of course, it brings some challenges. It brings more people. It brings construction. It brings some challenges for sure. But I like the way that the town is moving. I like to be here, part of it, and see, I can't wait to see where it goes in, the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, same here. And I have some other questions about Colorado Springs we'll get to.
Sure.
But I also just want to ask you, related to Toshiba, sometimes you talk to people who maybe have a poor experience with a copier in the past. And one thing I've always talked, like every time I've spoke to you, family always comes up, morals always comes up, your ethic compass always comes up. But what do you say to someone who is hesitant to, getting in a long-term contract with maybe a copier who's had a hard time with that in the past?
I think you definitely have to trust who's taking care of you. Copiers are not something that are kind of set it and forget it, or you sign on for 2 years or whatever, and a product shows up, on command. Copiers there's some nuances to it, and there's some specific ways that folks like me should be helping businesses, to the max degree possible, because business owners and directors of information technology, controllers, these folks, everyone's busy, right? And they need to try to understand this pretty complicated thing to make a one-time decision that's going to impact their business for many years. So, the trick is really you got to trust who is helping you kind of at the beginning and get a feel for that. Ethics and morality is one thing, because there's enough tricks of the trade and pitfalls to watch out for. And ultimately, something you'll need help with, and you'll want to make sure the person who is helping you is communicative and thorough and helpful and proactive. And so that's what I'd say. If you've had a negative experience, I see that. I hear that all the time. And fortunately, where I've found some of my success is just being a little bit different than that. And like I said, being proactive, being super communicative, and really just trying to help folks with the experience, the knowledge that I have to have as part of my job. It's not their job to know copier leases and pitfalls and monthly allowances and all the things that we see. And there definitely is a reality. It's a sales role, right? We see a lot of sales reps. We do have local technicians, but what you'll see the most, what clients see the most are reps and processes. And that's where I think Toshiba stands apart, and I try to stand apart myself too, right? If you have the best processes, things will go naturally, things will go smoothly, and customers can feel that, right? Think back to, some innovative things like the pizza tracker, right? The Domino's pizza tracker, right? I know that's kind of silly, but I think a lot of us kind of took that and like, wow, I'll actually know what's going on, because until then we didn't know, right? So I try to differentiate through sort of some innovative ways, helping people, in an innovative fashion, maybe showing them in the way that they kind of need to see it based on what they're telling me, and helping them and just communicate the way that they kind of need to hear it. But that's the biggest thing, man, is just being helpful, because by and large, copiers and printers, there's a lot of brands, there's a lot of similarities, honestly, in the actual technology and equipment. But what the big differentiator is who's taking care of you, and do you trust that person who's sitting across the table from you to take good care of you when the time comes down the road? So that's kind of the big thing I would say, is, and experience is the key word, right? Customer experience, I'm huge on, and I take that to heart, because, I'm a customer. Wherever I go, wherever I buy something, I'm keenly aware of, was I greeted well, and did they communicate afterwards? Did they follow up? Did they stick by their word? Did they do what they were going to say? Those kinds of things. And I just believe there's ways to do this kind of job, and your kind of job too, probably, where you can kind of cut corners, you can kind of get by, you can kind of get business. But my whole thing is presenting the very best customer experience possible. And I think customers can see it and feel it, usually from the first conversation or second conversation, and then you kind of get into a relationship and you take great care of them for the years, and then the rest is usually history. So, definitely some things to watch out for. So that's what I'd say. If you've had a bad experience, it can be hard to kind of put apples to apples when you're comparing competitive things. Definitely can be. So take your time is what I'd say, and make sure you kind of understand where you turn to when something comes up and you need help, whether it's billing or it's a service issue or whatever it might be. You need to have kind of one place to turn. And I take solace and really a lot of pride in being that for our clients here. And again, love the fact that I've sold things and helped in businesses that have sold global products. I've helped in Denver, but to be here now, specifically helping folks in the Springs, is couldn't be a better fit for me. I love helping the community here, which again, with right now, what that means is helping them understand the intricacies of copier leases and printer fleets and document management and things that they don't have to know because they've got their own jobs and lives and families and stresses and things to work with. So that's my goal, is to be their go-to for those.
They're trying to run a business, not figure out how to print something when they need
100%
it somewhere, right? So,
100%.
Yeah, I get that. And one thing I noticed too is the first time we met each other, it's a little over a year ago. I know we got a conversation, we talked about donuts somehow, and then you stopped by our office with donuts like the next day. So it was an attention to detail that really built a relationship. And I was like, oh man, he was listening to us. And I got to return the favor with some food sometime. But I
just got to come by and get one of the coffees again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, if you're a coffee drinker out there, come by CCS. Our owner is notorious for nitro cold brew coffee. It's all. Cody loved it. Everyone who stops by says a great thing. So if you're thirsty in the area, skip the coffee shop, come by us. We'll save you a couple bucks. We'll fill you up a cup. But give us a phone call too, because sometimes it's empty because it is very popular. But I'm glad to know that was good. And when you're on the north side of town, feel free to pop in because I know you kind of stretch throughout the city whenever you're working pretty often.
Yeah, these days, we got to be fairly hybrid, mobile, and still catching all that communication no matter where it's coming from. I work from home a lot, right? The new hybrid model. I love it personally. I love being close to the family and having little water cooler breaks with my 4-year-old, so to speak. But our office is downtown. So, I'm cruising throughout the city back and forth all the time and stopping by, helping folks, bringing whether it's Amy's Donuts or Hertz Donuts or, what are the other good ones? I really like Nothing Bundt Cakes is good.
Bundt Cakes is good, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there that people enjoy.
I'll give a shout out to Lily's Donut Shop at
Lily's too, for sure.
Yeah, Union and Briargate Boulevard. Yeah, I think they're Briargate Boulevard. Yeah, great donut shop in town too. But one thing too that Cody did bring up was the office they have downtown. If you want to see what downtown looks like from the 14th story, I think that's the highest we go in town. That is Toshiba has a corner office in downtown, 14th story. You can take a look and see what downtown looks like from a bird's eye. I think it's very cool. It kind of caught my attention when we came down here. So I'm sure it's an open invitation for anyone to come by.
Come on up if you want to see the Springs in a different way. Yeah, we get to see. So we see the mountains.
Yep.
We see the Olympic Museum. We see the new Switchback Stadium, and then out this way we see the whole city. So it's pretty cool to catch a sunrise, sunset up here, and just see what's going on in our big little town.
Yeah, I would recommend it. And the last question I always like to ask people is, because we kind of brought up Colorado Springs, people moving here, businesses moving here. If someone's come here recently, what would you recommend them to go do? That could be something outside, a restaurant, something. What do you like to do that you would recommend someone else to go check out?
Yeah, you got to do all the stuff that, everyone tells you got to do, right? You got to kind of see Garden of the Gods, right? Like Manitou's cool. Come downtown. Downtown's kind of changing, kind of buzzing a little bit in a new way. But some of the kind of like the little hidden gems that I've been able to pick up on that not a lot of people know, some of these are kind of funny, but so like in terms of restaurants, downtown, the Rabbit Hole is this cool. And I don't know if you've been to the Rabbit Hole, the underground restaurant, super cool. And then places to go. I was caught off guard by Rockledge Ranch. You ever heard of Rockledge Ranch?
I have not, no.
So Rockledge Ranch is right at the beginning of the Garden of Gods. I was trying to go there and I missed it. So it's like you're going into Garden of the Gods. It's on your left there. Rockledge Ranch is the original property and estate of General Palmer, who founded our city.
Yeah.
So his original house, they got a lot of the old farm work and things in there, and no one's heard about it. So I'm trying to spread the good word of Rockledge Ranch. And then, there's a bunch of new things coming to town. We have the amphitheater soon, right? Great Wolf Lodge is something you can't go. We got our Top Golf now.
True.
So we're growing up. I haven't been able to do some of the things. The indoor skydiving up there, that whole north end of town's fun. South end of town's growing. Yep. You got to go to the zoo, right? Everyone loves the zoo. It was a Toshiba customer, by the way. It's kind of funny.
Oh, shout out to them.
Shout out to the zoo, right? A unique challenge, just putting copiers throughout the whole Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is always kind of interesting. Cool. But yeah, those are some of the kind of the hidden gems, hopefully, that help people find their way. And I'm still learning my way. Like I said, it's fun to be downtown and see where things are going down here. Because when I grew up here, it wasn't quite like this. We didn't. I wouldn't say we avoided downtown. We were younger, but it wasn't as many good things going on. I love walking around.
Right? I guess
it didn't seem as cool.
Wasn't as cool. Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot more going on. A lot more people, movement, eateries. Love just the artwork all around downtown. So yeah, it's an exciting time. Come visit the Springs. I mean, I know everyone is. There's a reason it's one of the greatest places to live right now. And again, brings some challenges, but there's a lot of upside to that too.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a lot for me to learn about because what was it? The Garden of the Gods? What's it called again?
Rockledge Ranch.
Rockledge Ranch. I've lived here 25 years and I've never heard of it, so that's something I've got to go check out as a kid.
Absolutely.
But no, I appreciate your time. Thanks for letting me chat with you today.
Sure.
You have any other last things that we didn't catch up on about Toshiba that would be good for anyone to know out there?
No, just holler if you need anything in terms of copiers, printers, document management solutions. These things are not. I had a colleague tell me once, it's not rocket science, but it's just close enough. And so it's one of those things that I think copiers are one of the. When you see copiers in the movies or the shows, it's always a comedic thing. They're hitting the copier. I can't forget The Office when Dwight has control for just a little while and he employs 16-digit copier codes on everybody, and Kevin can't get it in. So those are the things that kind of come to mind for people with copiers. So I just would tell folks, take a minute, take it slow, and find someone you trust. It's a long-term investment that you're making there. And no, other than that, just holler when we can. Thank you for your time today. CCS does great work. Shout out to them. We work with a few customers together and have gotten to see kind of how we take care of clients and top notch. So keep up the great work, and thanks again for stopping by today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And we'll throw Cody's contact information in the banner below, so feel free to reach out. Let him know if there's anything that he might be able to help you out with. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again. This was our first time doing what we call Conversations in Colorado. We'll see you for the next episode, but have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much.